French but sikit.
Assalamualaikum and good evening. My name is Aina Shamini.
And my name is Sharifah Nobashira, and welcome to tonight's Special Report. Language plays a fundamental role in shaping our society's economy and even our identities. Today we explore the role of multilingualism and how it influences national unity, education and cultural preservation. Recent research has provided fascinating insights into how English functions as a unifying force in multilingual nations, as well as how indigenous communities naturally sustain linguistic diversity. What are the benefits of multilingualism and what challenges does it present? Stay with us as we break it down for you.
Multilingualism is a reality for many nations, especially in a globalized world. In countries like Malaysia, India, and Nigeria, people navigate daily life using multiple languages. But how does this impact national unity and communication? A recent study by Dr. Halimah Benzong explores the role of English as an official language in multilingual societies. Let's take a closer look at the key findings.
English has become the dominant global language for business, science, and governance. Many countries adopt English as an official or secondary language to bridge communication gaps and enhance national cohesion. In multilingual nations, having a common language can reduce ethnic tensions and promote effective governance.
Oh, that's an interesting point. The study also highlights how English plays a crucial role in education and technology. Many universities worldwide use English as the primary medium of instruction, and most academic research is published in English. This gives students access to global knowledge and opportunities in the job market.
English proficiency provides students with a competitive edge in higher education and employment. However, one concern is that prioritizing English may come at the cost of local language, leading to the loss of cultural identity.
For a lot of the countries you travel to, English is a widely spoken language. You can use English to communicate in those places. You don't even have to go to America or Canada or England or Australia or New Zealand. There's many other countries that speak English as well. For many jobs around the world, you have to be able to speak English. Are you looking to diversify your career? If so, pick up English. Because English is so widely spoken, there are so many resources for you to use. If you go online right now, you'll be able to find multiple PDFs, multiple videos on YouTube, tons of English courses, as well as some really good content from certain YouTube creators. Studies show that learning a new language can even prevent diseases such as Alzheimer's. Can you believe that? Lastly, think about all the awesome TV shows and movies you can watch without subtitles if you learn English. I mean, hello, Stranger Things?
While English is certainly useful, there are concerns about its dominance. Critics argue that relying too heavily on English may marginalize indigenous languages. This can create inequalities, particularly in communities where access to English education is limited. In some cases, students who do not speak English fluently may struggle in school or in the job market.
When a country prioritizes one language over others, it can create socio-economic divides. People who speak the dominant language fluently often have better job opportunities, while others may be disadvantaged. This raises important questions about language policy and education.
Hello, I'm Lucian and I'm age 7 in year 3.
My name is Gabby and I'm 6.
I'm Mr. Morley, I'm 32 years old and I'm the MFL leader at Wright Primary School. Except I'm not 32, I'm 31.
If you could introduce yourselves with your names and your ages, please.
You start. I can speak Portuguese and Spanish and English.
At home I speak a language called Amharic because I'm Ethiopian.
I speak Spanish and a bit of French.
Irish. German, Arabic, Portuguese, Czech, Chinese, Swedish,
and maybe a little bit of gibberish.
የኔ ስም ማህደር ነው። ሰላም እና 10 ዓመቴ ነው እና አሁን ማውራት የምችለው እንግሊዝኛ፣ French and Spanish.
I got quite a lot to say. My favourite word is war because it means I, and it doesn't sound like I because it has 2 letters when you do pinyin. Hola, ¿cómo estás? Muchas gracias. Me gusta mi manos. If you're hungry, you say ya samhlat. Manos. Manos, sí, estos manos.
I would like to speak probably Spanish because Spanish is known halfway around the world, and it's the most spoken language in different countries around the world, so I'd like to learn Spanish.
I would like to learn Arabic because our neighbours speak a lot of Arabic and I wonder what they're saying sometimes.
I teach in Spanish and sometimes we play Spanish games after. Sometimes you do the piña dance and piña means pineapple.
Pina, pina, pina.
Being from Ireland, I studied Irish at school until I was 16, but unfortunately I am nowhere near fluent. And I would love to be able to go home and go to the Gaeltacht and be able to order a pint in Irish.
All the languages are extremely useful because on the summer holidays I visit new countries and English isn't the most important language because we all have different opinions on what the most important language is.
Having worked in London for so many years, it was heartbreaking that some children never cross the River Thames, never mind leave the country or speak another language. So for me, for children to understand another language, a culture, to gain experience, to have teachers that are passionate about teaching those languages as well, really opens those eyes and really opens those opportunities for children that they may not think are necessarily available to them.
And that's the end.
This brings us to another important study that examines a very different kind of multilingualism, small-scale multilingualism in indigenous communities.
Unlike urban settings where a dominant language often overshadows others, many indigenous communities naturally sustain multiple languages. A study by linguist Wilfried Pentadorf, Lina Dobushina and Alicia Kanina explores how these communities maintain linguistic diversity.
In small indigenous communities, multilingualism is deeply embedded in social structures. People grow up speaking multiple languages because of cultural traditions, intermarriage, and trade. For example, in parts of the Amazon linguistic exogamy where people marry outside their language group ensures that children learn multiple languages from an early age.
Bilingual people who speak more than one language, develop dementia 4 to 4.5 years later than those who don't.
Cognitive reserve is the idea that people develop a reserve of thinking abilities, and this protects them against losses that can occur through aging and disease. Learning anything new helps build cognitive reserve, but there's something special about language.
Learning new languages is an exercise of the mind. It's the mental equivalent of going to a gym every day.
And it's not just our brains that benefit.
Learning new languages and speaking more than one language is very important not only for individuals but also for societies.
Learning new languages can open doors to new cultural experiences, life opportunities.
Different people, different communities, and different ways of seeing the world.
This type of multilingualism is different from the large-scale multilingualism found in cities. There are no official language policy, but people naturally switch between languages in daily life. Researchers also found that some communities practice egalitarian multilingualism where no single language dominates over the others.
In Vanuatu, a country in Pacific, residents commonly speak 3 or more languages. They switch language based on the context, one for family, another for trade, and another for religious ceremonies. This flexibility helps preserve linguistic diversity and strengthens cultural ties.
Language is so important. It helped me a lot. Because of artificial intelligence, in the future, people say, I don't need to learn English or Russian or Japanese. A chip here can translate it quickly. No, it's not about language. It's about the culture. When you learn the other language, you start to understand the other culture. You start to appreciate, respect the other culture. When you appreciate, respect the other culture, you will be respected and appreciated by the others. Then you can work out together. I learned my English by myself when I was a child. I never got one day English training class outside China. But I think I understand the Western culture much more better than those Chinese students study outside. Because I'm not learning language, I'm learning culture.
So, what does all of this mean for the future? Should countries embrace English for global competitiveness, or should they work harder to protect local languages? Experts argue that both approaches can coexist if language policies promote multilingual education rather than favoring one language over others.
Well, a balanced approach to language education is crucial for both individual and society growth. Governments should prioritize multilingual education by ensuring that students achieve fluency in their native language while also becoming proficient in English or other global languages. This dual language proficiency helps individuals retain their cultural identity while equipping them with the necessary skills to engage in international communication, business, and collaboration. In an increasingly interconnected world, the ability to speak multiple languages enhances career prospects, fosters cross-cultural understanding, and strengthens national unity. By investing in language policies that support both heritage and global communication, societies can preserve their unique traditions while benefiting from global opportunities. Well, a well-structured multilingual education system is not just an academic advantage, but a bridge between cultures, ensuring that no language or identity is left behind in the pursuit of progress. Thank you.
Language in childhood may give you a more holistic grasp of its social and emotional contexts. Conversely, recent research showed that people who learned a second language in adulthood exhibit less emotional bias and a more rational approach when confronting problems in the second language than in their native one. But regardless of when you acquire additional languages, being multilingual gives your brain some remarkable advantages. Some of these are even visible, such as higher density of the gray matter that contains most of your brain's neurons and synapses, and more activity in certain regions when engaging a second language. The heightened workout a bilingual brain receives throughout its life can also help delay the onset of diseases like Alzheimer's and dementia by as much as 5 years. The idea of major cognitive benefits to bilingualism may seem intuitive now, but it would have surprised earlier experts. Before the 1960s, bilingualism was considered a handicap that slowed a child's development by forcing them to spend too much energy distinguishing between languages, a view based largely on flawed studies. And while a more recent study did show that reaction times and errors increase for some bilingual students in cross-language tests, it also showed that the effort and attention needed to switch between languages triggered more activity in, and potentially strengthened, the dorsolateral prefrontal cortex. This is the part of the brain that plays a large role in executive function, problem solving, switching between tasks, and focusing while filtering out irrelevant information. So, while bilingualism may not necessarily make you smarter, it does make your brain more healthy, complex, and actively engaged. And even if you didn't have the good fortune of learning a second language as a child, it's never too late to do yourself a favor and make the linguistic leap from hello to hola, bonjour, or ni haos. Because when it comes to our brains, a little exercise can go a long way.
The discussion on multilingualism is far from over. While English plays a crucial role in global communication, we must also recognize the importance of preserving linguistic diversity. If government and educators adopt inclusive language policy, society can thrive both culturally and economically.
That's all for today's special report. Thank you for joining us. Stay tuned for more insights on language, culture, and society. I'm Anusha Mimi.
I'm Sharifah Nobashira.
And this is our report for tonight. Thank you.